Public Works Minister Dean McPherson has officially laid criminal charges against suspended Independent Development Trust CEO Tebogo Malaka, as well as the entity's spokesperson, Pasha Magolane. Now, the pair were caught on camera allegedly attempting to bribe Daily Maverick journalist Peter Louis Myburgh. They're said to have offered 60,000 rand for him to stop investigations. Malaka was suspended following the release of a forensic audit into the over 800 million rand oxygen plant tender for hospitals, which was found to be irregular. McPherson has also asked police to investigate an alleged smear campaign against him. Everest Wealth Advisory CEO saying that corruption is still far too easy and it's costing South Africa dearly. And he joins us now for more on this. Then, Thijs van Zyl, thank you so much for the time. As you write to this article, I don't think there could be anybody across the country who perhaps disagrees with you, and yet it still continues to happen. Shock, but not surprised.
Yeah, I think it's actually embarrassing to most South Africans to actually know that this is still going on. I mean, so it's one thing. It's always been easy to basically take some money, under the table, whether you're official or whether you're contractor, whatever the case is. But to find out again about something like 800 million rands, it was again had to go to hospitalization, oxygen, and infrastructure. I mean, and it going to one company that isn't even qualified. I mean, at some stage, it should be enough. And I think, there should be more repercussions when it comes to these things, especially when it comes out. And again, the official, they're trying to bribe the journalist. Just to think, journalists are there. You guys are there to bring the news and to break news sometimes even, things that is under the table. And then also to think that is also happening. It almost feels like it's something like a mafia movie just playing off somewhere.
Yeah, one wonders then, why did it become so brazen? Have we just lacked law enforcement anymore? Consequence management has pretty much fallen out the window. What is it that has created it becoming a lot more brazen and a lot more stark?
I think that wording that you're using, consequence management, I think that's exactly what it is and the lack of it. I think there isn't any consequence really. So you're getting suspended, you're going to sit at home maybe for a few years again for investigation purpose, and maybe they're just going to change your portfolio at the end of the day. So I think that is very important. I mean, we are actually, even if you want to make an example like rhino poaching, we're actually locking up these guys for 15 years. Okay, and it's a non-negotiable. But people are stealing our money. It's our infrastructure money. You're buying yourself a house, you're building a house, whatever the case you want to do. If you want to work for government as a government official, you need to know that you're going to serve. You're not going to bribe, you're not going to take, you have to serve. So I like that wording that you're using.
Yeah, and then one wonders, is it because we don't feel the immediate consequences of deals like the oxygen plant tender, for example, immediately? We only feel it down the road because at a later stage, then we ask ourselves, wait, hold on, we've got patients who needed this oxygen and yet aren't able to get it because of a tender that wasn't done properly 4, 5, 6 years ago, etc.
Exactly. I mean, even if you have a look at the NHI. So we want national health insurance, but if things are like this is going to happen, it puts it backwards every single time. It's going to take a little bit longer, even if it then going to happen. So, and the other thing is as well, when you have a look at it from an investment perspective, the people that is in South Africa are leaving South Africa because of these type of things. And it's keep on happening. And they don't have that consequences of, all that they want to invest in South Africa anymore, because again, something like this might just go for infrastructure investments, or it might go for this or for that, but it doesn't go where it's supposed to go. And I think many South Africans, if you look at it like that, why should I still invest in South Africa if these things are also happening? Why should I put my money in government bonds if it's only going to be, corrupted? There's a lot of things that plays a negative role, especially, even from the retail sector when it comes to, that confidence within South African investment portfolios.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what I was about to ask about the global investor. How do you think they are viewing South Africa now? Have we lost our shine? Have we lost that glow of the nation that was that emerging market that you could rely on because we had such fluid markets? We had so many aspects that were going for us. Now we barely even have growth.
That's the bottom line. And I think you should stop there by just saying, but that is the bottom line. So South Africa has got a lot of growth potential. I mean, we have infrastructure investments that's waiting to happen. We have power investments that's waiting to happen. Green energy that's waiting to happen, job creation that is waiting to happen. We have a lot of things going for South Africa. We just don't have the confidence that the investments that actually pours into South Africa that can actually change South African lives, it's just not going for the right reasons. It's just a few fat cats on top that's basically taking a little bit more and more and more. And every now and then, yeah, we get to catch them. But the consequence then after that, the examples, it's not really being made so that you can know, if I'm going to take this position and portfolio, it's all about South Africans. It's not about me.
I wanted to ask your opinion about something as well. It feels as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels as though we've seen a lot more uncovering of these corrupt acts of late then, particularly, and one has to say that it is under President Cyril Ramaphosa. Do you think that it's because a lot more corruption is happening under this administration, or is it because a lot more is actually then being pursued and uncovered and actually tackled under this administration? Or is it perhaps a mixture of both?
I hope it's a mixture of both, because if you have a look at it in a one side of positiveness, if there's more things like this coming out, seemingly something is happening in the right direction. Because if there's one thing that needs to be dealt with is corruption, but the only the way you can deal with corruption if it physically comes out. And I think that is a positive, well, one side of it. Yeah, we're hearing a lot about it, a lot more, but at least it's coming out. But the other fact is, I would rather have media, report about it by saying, but listen, the Hawks or this department or that government department, they came out with the truth. The investigation is leading to the following. As to basically saying that a journalist has to physically, and thank you for that, for the Daily Maverick, and journalists like himself, to take it upon himself to put even his own life in danger to go and investigate these matters. So, but yeah, positive for me. On one side, it's at least it's starting to get out a lot more, like that you're pointing towards. But again, to point to the matter is there should be consequences.
And that is the big question mark at play here. Are you hopeful?
I am. I think if you have a look at South Africa, where we're going towards, even under the new administration, under the GNU, I think there's a lot of things that's positive for South Africa. It's difficult to be a South African every morning and to get up and to look at the news and, the headlines and still be positive at some stages. But this is definitely a point in the right direction to say, listen, everybody is not bribable. And if this is going to continue, we will execute and we will pursue.
Very important. Dace, thank you so much for the time. Appreciated then this morning. Dace van Zyl, then Everest Wealth Advisory CEO, just talking about how corruption in the country is still far too easy, happening far too often, and yet costs the country so much.